Hello, this is Lucas Hansen from Qualia. Qualia is a really big user of Meteor, and we've been hiring a lot of engineers lately. So we've been spending a lot of time on honing our onboarding process. I think some of the stuff we've come up with is pretty neat, so I wanted to show you guys a quick little example of what we have going on here. So, one of the most important and sometimes most confusing concepts in Meteor is Tracker. Tracker manages the front-end reactivity. It gives you all of the magic of automatically updating UI. And so what we have here is a couple exercises that are meant to teach some concepts about Tracker. Some of these, there are 4 right now. Some of them are pretty easy. Some of them are very, very hard. But I thought it would be fun to maybe walk through the first 1 or 2. So while going through these exercises, we're going to be using a tool that Qualia has developed called Reval. Reval lets you click anywhere on a page and open up the code for the template that was underneath your mouse. So as you hold Command, then you can see all the different templates, and you can see that the screen minimized, everything still works. You can interact with the page. Here's the HTML code, and here's the JavaScript code. So let's get started. All right, so here's the first exercise called counter. So if we complete this exercise correctly, this number will be incrementing and turn green. So the idea here is that once you load the page, widgets are constantly being inserted, and this number ought to reflect the number of widgets that have currently been created. So let's take a quick look at the code. So this is a pretty simple template. The main thing going on here is there is this statistics element, and here it is displaying the number of widgets via a reactive variable, and there is this function which is controlling the color of the statistic based on whether or not this widget count is correct. The JavaScript is visible right here. There's a couple things going on. So up here we declare a widget collection, and we have this _.extend TPL. So TPL is a reference to this. It's a reference to the template instance, and it's just a convenient way of using Blaze so that everything feels a little bit more object-oriented. So first we have this widget count reactive variable, and this is the thing that we're going to be manipulating and trying to make sure that it's up to date in order to properly complete this exercise. So there's 2 main functions that are running. One is this auto add widgets function. This is, it's not too important exactly how this works, but essentially what it's doing is periodically, after some random interval, it's adding a new widget to the widgets collection. And then, as I mentioned earlier, there's this statistic color, which just checks whether or not the widget count reactive variable properly matches the number of widgets in the widget collection. And if it's correct, it's green. If it's incorrect, it's red. So here's the function that we actually need to fill out, watch widgets. And what this needs to do is whenever the widget count changes, it needs to update this reactive variable right here. So this is a pretty simple challenge, but I think it's a good one for new engineers to start out with. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. As I mentioned, we're going to be solving this in Reval, so we don't have to leave the browser and we get instant reloads and nice stuff like that. So you can see it's the same code as was demonstrated earlier. All right, here is the watch widgets function. So what's nice is this will all update as I type. So when I solve the problem, this will automatically start incrementing and be green. Okay. All right, so the first thing we need to do is create an auto run. Okay, so this is a snippet of code that will rerun whenever any of the reactive references that are inside of this auto run function change. So one function that is reactive in this way is the widgets.find.count that will invalidate whatever auto run it's in whenever that value changes. So let's just start by getting the count. Okay, and all we need to do is update the widget count reactive variable with this new count. And so when I finish typing, you're going to see up where the widget number is, you're going to see it start acting correctly. So I just finished, and now you can see that this number is indeed counting up and turning green. Okay, cool. So that was super easy, and it was pretty cool to do with Reval and looking at the inline code here. Maybe at some point in the future I will cover these other challenges. The videos for those will be a little bit longer because they do require some explanation, but they do a pretty good job of teaching some pretty deep concepts about how Tracker works from from the baseline of how autoruns work and how to actually create a reactive variable. There's a simple implementation of reactive variable as a part of this problem. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully I'll post another one pretty soon.